Hi, today I'm here with Louise Morrison, and we are going to be discussing the book that's releasing February 2nd, 2022. We Are All Made of Love. It's a beautiful collaboration book with vulnerable, heartfelt connection that's going to help restore your faith in humanity and just remind you of the true reason that we're all here, transcending all odds through love, connected as one with each other and made of love. We're super excited to be able to share that with everybody. It has been very magical the way that everything has synchronistically come together. So I'm here with Kim, who it's exciting because Kim and I ended up doing our coaching certification together. So that was an exciting moment for us to meet. And I'll read you her bio for a moment. Kim Louise Morrison is a #1 international best-selling author, an intuitive empowerment coach, and a practitioner of several energetic healing modalities, including Reiki, IET, and various energy processes of access consciousness. She has an active coaching, healing, and speaking business. Kim currently lives in London, Ontario, Canada. As an empowerment coach and recovered supreme self-judger, Kim understands the self-confidence struggle. It's her business and her passion to guide people to release the self-judgment that stops them from thriving and embrace dynamic self-empowerment so they have both the confidence and tools to go after and achieve their dreams. Kim's pieces are Love Yourself Like There's No Tomorrow and When I Open My Heart to Love. And they are in the Courage to Love chapter and the Spiritually Connected chapter in our book. And so welcome, Kim. I'm excited to be able to chat with you a little bit today. Did you want to tell us a little bit about your pieces and how you came about writing them?
The main piece, Love Yourself Like There's No Tomorrow, is the story of, I guess, my journey, my healing journey with my ex-husband and his suicide. And so I wrote that for basically myself originally probably a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago. It's been about 10 years now since he passed. And that was part of my healing process. And what I hope by writing it, originally it was just for me. And then I shared it with a couple of people and they said, you have to share this with more people. So I did. I put it in my only book that I've written by myself. And I've shared it a few times on people's blogs and that sort of thing. So that's my hope, is with that, anybody else who is going through that, and I know there are a couple of other authors in the book that have had very similar experiences, and also to open up a conversation, because people still don't want to talk about suicide and what that does to people, and it affects everybody differently, and everybody's story is a little bit different. But I think at the heart of dealing with that, you have to really learn how to love yourself in that process of healing and let go of the blame and the shame and the guilt that comes with that. Because for most loved ones of people who have committed suicide, there's always a part of, what could I have done to stop it? How did I not see it coming? All those sorts of feelings. And so if it can help anybody, if it helps one person, then that's my target.
Well, and it's already helped two of the other authors as well, was because I was able to connect the three of you even before I put the manuscript out to you guys. You three were able to connect and share some support with each other. And one of the other authors said to me about how it was amazing to feel not alone in something and not feel crazy for being upset about what happened. And because, and just sort of have that extra validation and be like, okay, this is something that more people go through. And yeah, it is. I'm so excited that you guys are drawing awareness to mental health struggles and stuff. And like, we have other pieces in the book that address it as well. And it's just so much bravery and courage. And like, from my own personal history of, being in the drug world of things and getting clean. And, I know I could have very easily gone that way. And so, seeing the effect of suicide on other people helps me feel stronger about not doing that myself, right? Because I see the ripple effect and the repercussions of it. And, it is something that people people don't want to talk about. Like they feel weird and taboo talking about it, and we need to make it more commonplace and more accepted. And
Mhm.
so I'm really grateful
Absolutely.
that you shared this piece, and that, you know, you've shared it other places as well. And, you know, to just get that word out and, you know, say, hey, like, let's start talking about this. And, you
Mhm.
know, I'm really grateful that you were able to share that.
Thank you.
And that's in the Courage to Love section, which has a whole bunch of that type of heartfelt stories in it. And
Yeah.
so, and your other piece, the When I Opened My Heart to Love, you were saying before we started the interview that you don't even really remember writing it all that much because you were in the flow and able to
Mhm.
just channel and let it come through you. And that's something
Mhm.
that I wanted to talk about a little bit more, about that process of how do you connect and allow, so that, you know, you get out of your own way with your writing. Because a lot of times when we can get into that process, we end up getting answers to things that we're struggling with, or we can
Mhm.
write inspiring and empowering pieces like Kim did. Like, you know, the piece about When I Open My Heart to Love, when I read it, I just want to be like, yes, yes.
Oh,
and
thank
just
you.
and just celebrate, because it's so powerful. And so tell us a little bit more about how you get into that flow.
Okay. Well, I'm going to actually, I guess I'll have to blame that particular piece on you. I didn't actually know what I was getting into. It was a Zoom that you had been offering out Zooms to all us authors. And I just popped on it because I thought, okay, this will be fun to connect with some of the other authors. And then you said, we're going to do this writing piece. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, let's go. And I just thought it was like not, I don't mean a scribble session per se, but, okay, well, let's just have fun with it. And I have done things like that before, but the beauty of what you did on that was, it's like, okay, we're going to write for, I don't know if it was 10 minutes. You said, okay, here's the subject. I opened my heart to love. And um, I've done brain dumps, and I've done this other process. It's called wild mind writing. And it's kind of the same thing, where you pick a theme or a topic, and you literally set a timer for, say, 7 to 10 minutes, and you just kind of do like a dump, and you just write, and there's no stopping, there's no editing, there's no punctuation. You just set your thing, and it's just like kind of letting stuff. And when you're in a kind of, I don't mean necessarily in a hurry, but you've got it timed, right? You can't be like, oh, I see some dust over there. You know how you distract yourselves from the to-dos, and when you're working on writing, you think of all the other things you have to do, like go check your laundry. And when you've got just a short time frame, you can just like kind of dump it down, because you're not thinking about it and you're not judging it. You're just kind of spewing it down. And then when I shared it, you were like, oh, that's really good. Can I use it? And I was like, really? Because I just thought, I just threw this together. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that, sometimes our things where we get out of our head and we just do something fast and just like dump it down on paper is such a great thing. And I know another thing is, like, some people call it, they call it a brain dump, where you just dump everything out of your head. And I guess that's a little bit different because it's not subject specific, but the exercise you used where it's subject specific,
Yeah.
you automatically, you're putting the thoughts out there to the universe or whatever, and you just kind of start dumping the thoughts from the universe. I'm not even going to say that it was necessarily my stuff. It just came from, whoever my thoughts come from out there, or whatever. If I've got angels and guides and all that, I think, okay, they're in there helping whenever I write.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the beauty of it as well, is like, I remember when you read it and I was like, oh, please, like, and you're like, what? You want this for the
I
book?
know.
I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
please. I'm like, that is so bang on perfect for the theme. That piece embodies the entire intention of the book. And so I really hope that people will check that out and be able to connect with the affirmations and the empowerment that's in it. And because, yeah, it was really cool. And, you know, it is a process that, you know, people are able to do on their own. And, you know, I've had a number of different people say, oh, I'm not a writer. And I'm like, well, try this process, because you don't have to be a writer to benefit from like free fall writing, automatic writing,
Mhm.
morning pages. It has all sorts of different names to it and whatever.
Mhm.
And it's basically like getting out what's in your head, because especially now, there's so much noise and so much distraction,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to give yourself those few moments of connection and just,
Mm-hmm.
feel. And I know you and I sort of have more experience. It's not our first rodeo with all of this stuff, but I know
Yeah.
that people who are new to the process, it may take a couple times like of doing it before you can actually like click in and get the hang of it. And sometimes people get frustrated the first time or two that they
Mm-hmm.
do it, that like, the words aren't flowing. It's like because you're in your own way still. And that's why for my workshops and stuff, I have a meditation at the beginning of it to sort of like take you out of like the noise and the mess that you came from, and like sit you where in this meeting and in this workshop, and just be like, you're here right now, give yourself this little bit of time and just hang out and connect.
Yeah.
And it's just that separation a lot of people need, because there is so much busyness going on, right?
Yeah. And we're
And
so hard on ourselves. Like we think we got to try something the first time and get it right. I mean,
this is broken, this doesn't work, right?
we would, yeah, I mean, we would never like if treat yourself like your best friend kind of thing. Like if your best friend said, "Oh, I tried it once and I can't do it." I mean, or a kid, like you'd keep giving them encouragement. And it's like we need to do that with ourselves a little bit more.
Well, a kid doesn't try and walk and like fall down and be like, well, this walking thing isn't for
It
me.
didn't
I'm
work.
just I'm just gonna crawl the rest of my life. Like, you know.
Totally.
And so yeah, we have to be a little bit more gentle with ourselves, and that sort of takes us into what kind of, did you want to tell us a little bit about what you do and the coaching that you do?
Yes. The coaching that I do is very individual. I only do one-on-one coaching. And so it's specific to what each of my clients needs, but it's always people who are stuck at some place in their life and they're having trouble moving forward, having trouble getting out of their own way. And I've been doing, healing work and spiritual work. And I don't know if I want to call it spiritual work, but like a lot of self-development work. And I've had different trainings. And so I kind of put all those tools together, and I've been doing it for, I guess, all this type of work for about 12 years. And so, yeah, I coach people with the tools that I have. And it's also for myself as a coach, a huge exercise in getting out of my own way. And when I'm with somebody in a coaching session, I just let what comes. I don't know if it's channeling, my guides, you know, whatever it is. Um, when I get out of my own way, then that helps my clients, and it also helps them because I teach them how to do the same thing. It's like, get out of your own way and stop being so hard on yourself, because whatever you want to create in your life, you can create it. Just give yourself some patience, give yourself some time. And when you've got accountability, even myself, I have my own coaches, and even in my own coaching groups, I always have an accountability buddy, because when I have somebody who's got my back, then I'm more successful. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean financially successful. It just means I'm more successful at life.
And it's so important to be able to have somebody that can help keep us on track, because we can be our own worst enemy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just need that reality check of, no, it's not as bad as your head is running
Yeah.
away with. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Well, and that was one thing I remembered as well when you were talking. You submitted a bonus for people who buy on launch day. And did you want to let us know a little bit about that as well? Because
Yeah.
anybody who buys on launch day gets one of the bonus packages.
Yeah.
And Kim has generously added in a little workshop in there as well. So
Yeah, it's just a little audio exercise. I call it living the empowered life, because that's kind of the focus of my business, is to help people live an empowered life. And that's whatever it is for them. It doesn't mean you have to be a CEO or, create multi-million-dollar companies, but you can if you want to, kind of thing. So it's just a really simple audio exercise. I think it's about 10 or 12 minutes long. I forget. And it's just a really beautiful, energetic exercise for drawing in whatever it is you want in your life so that you feel empowered.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for including that. That's going to be
You're
such
welcome.
a lovely little bonus for everybody. And not a little bonus. It's
Oh,
it's
it is.
pretty amazing.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
huge.
what would be your takeaway that you would like to have people connect with for your pieces, for your message about life?
My biggest message is, because this has been my biggest struggle, and they always say your biggest struggle is what you're here to teach. My biggest struggle has always been getting out of my own way, judging myself, holding myself back, because, thinking I'm not good enough and who am I to do whatever it is in life. And it's just about, really, I guess it does boil down to self love and letting go of self judgment. So, my biggest thing is, if you want something in life, just go after it. And you don't have to think of the ginormous thing, because the end result is never the end result. It's who you, and I know this is very cliche, it's who you become along the way. So, I know that's a bit of a tangent and a ramble, but my
No,
biggest thing is,
that's beautiful.
get out of your own way and find whatever techniques work for you to get out of your own way, to love yourself, to let go of the self-judgment, and just treat yourself like you would treat yourself as if you were your best friend.
I love it. That's beautiful. And if people want to connect to you more, how would they find more information about you and what you do?
Probably the easiest way to get me is on my website, because there's a little sign up thing there, and there's it's kimlouisemorrison.com is my website, or even my business email is kim@kimlouisemorrison.com.
And it will be in the notes from the video as well. Your bio with all of your contact information will also be in the notes as well, so people can reach out to you, and they can, if they've liked what they've seen, they can pre-order a book from you, or they can connect to you and give you more feedback and everything. And it's lovely to have this time. And again, the We Are All Made of Love is releasing February 2nd, 2022, and we're super excited to be able to share this heartfelt collection with everybody. And so thank you so much for being here with me today, Kim. It's been lovely to connect with you and to be able to share this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.